mind, I will switch mine off now. I'd ask you to do the same. There's a place next to the canal to make mobile phones. Cool. So this is the 7th International Symposium, truly international symposium. Started over 10 years or 11 years now. We've been in 7 different venues, in 5 different countries, and we've had attendees from over 32 different countries. Over 1,000 in total at the 7 events. It's my 2nd symposium to be involved with. The first I was involved with was Niagara last year. Before that, I was never invited. The Niagara Symposium last year, for those who attended, you know what happened. For those who didn't, this was the location, a fantastic Edwardian design hotel. We had great conference facilities and huge attendance. So we were really looking forward to a great symposium. On the morning of the symposium, somebody who should remain nameless, actually, I'll name him, Frank Dorman said to me, "Wow, is the new boy going to bring any bad luck to this symposium?" Frank's not here this year because he wasn't invited. I began the opening address of the symposium, and then this happened. Absolute darkness. There was 150 people in the room, and this is all they could see. Thankfully, it was only a power cut, because actually the weather outside was quite disastrous. In the Toronto area, it was the worst weather for 25 years. There were some areas of the Toronto catchment area that were without power for over a week. And this was Niagara on the lake. You can see the photos taken by colleagues in the village. Absolute destruction. But thankfully, after the event, it all went well. There was music, there was dancing, there was a little science. And wherever there's music and dancing, there's Hans-Joachim Hübner in the corner dancing. So I was really worried. This was the first event and I had brought to it some disaster. So I wanted to ensure that this year's event went without a hitch. So last November, I brought my wife to Venice. And I said, let's go and look at the venue, we take in some sights, and we plan to make sure there's no disasters. We arrived in Venice, and this is what we saw. We went straight to St. Mark's Square, and it was completely flooded. This was a restaurant that we were hoping to eat in that was completely flooded. So by now I was very, very nervous that this would happen this week. But thankfully, the same restaurant yesterday was perfect. So, what difference a year makes? A year since Niagara, we already in Venice. And this year has been a very important year for Thermo Fisher Scientific and our partners. In the last year, we brought to the market technologies that make a difference to hops, food safety, and environmental analysis. One technology is our TriPlus RSH, Robotic Sample Handling Auto-Sampler. It brings the capabilities of automated sample preparation, dilutions, etc. Some of our colleagues will be talking about this technology this week. We've also just launched, just in the last few weeks, a new GC, the Trace 1300 Series GC. It brings a real concept of true modularity to a GC. We're very, very excited about this product, and we'll be hearing about this afternoon. Last year, we launched our TSQ Quantum XLS Ultra. It brings ultra selectivity and ultra sensitivity to the POPs market. And we're going to hear several talks this week about dioxins and POPs analysis using this technology. Last year, we also launched the Q Exactive, ultra high resolution LC-MS and MS-MS. Q Exactive has the capabilities of unknown sample characterization, that also has the sensitivity equivalent to an LC tandem quadrupole. So it's able to confirm and quantitate, or confirmation as we call it. With the Q Exactive, we launched Exact Finder software. We'll be hearing more about this week. Exact Finder is designed for screening and confirmation of target lists and unknowns from complex samples. And finally, just recently we launched an update to our very popular Target 1 software, Target 1.3. And my colleague Dirk Brumby will be talking about this later this afternoon. So, back to the agenda. We have a few minor edits to the agenda. This morning, Jeff Vercon will be speaking in place of Professor Damian Barcello. I would also say that we break for lunch at 12:30, and then we are back at 2:30. 2 hours for lunch anywhere else in the world is more than enough. But apparently this is fast food in Italy. So it's around 15 minutes to walk to the restaurant, and 15 minutes back, and we may have around 150 people to feed. So I would ask you to be very prompt in leaving, and very prompt to return. We have a change, or some changes for our afternoon. Unfortunately, Professor Dr. Peter First is unable to attend today. He was planning on speaking, but in Germany, you may have all heard of the German chicken and egg incident of 2010, 2011. Well, we have another one, unfortunately. There are 2 farms with contaminated samples in Duisburg. Dr. First is the competent authority or works for the competent authority for this area, so he's tied up in analysing samples of chicken bedding and waste and soil, as well as food and feed. Germany is not a very chicken-friendly place at the moment. To the agenda tomorrow, we have another cancellation. But no change. We'll just take an even longer lunch, maybe a little more Prosecco tomorrow. And no change to the afternoon agenda. This evening we're quite excited. We've put together an evening event for you we hope that you're going to like. When the symposium closes, you have a little free time. And then I would ask that you all meet promptly at Palazzo di Cale. This is the Palazzo. And this is the door that we need to meet. Okay, we will enter the palazzo. There will be a tour of this fine Venetian building, as well as an excellent classical music concert. It will take around half an hour to tour the building, around 45 minutes for the music. And then after that, we will go to the same restaurant that we were taking lunch in today for an evening meal. Everybody should have a card with a map. It's not very detailed, it's just an indication. This is where we are now. This is where you need to be. This can take anywhere from 15 minutes to 1.5 hours, depending on your navigation. And exactly the same in this way. So I would ask that you grab somebody with a Thermo Scientific badge so that you can get lost together. You should all find a map with your registration documents. In the map there is a questionnaire form. I would ask if you could complete the questionnaire form and submit it to Karen, who you registered with. There is a prize. We will take a draw tomorrow afternoon for a prize. We have an iPod Nano Touch, I forget. We have an iPod that you can win. This is not the main prize. The main prize is with an iPod, you can download the Thermo Scientific apps for free. So, with that, I'm going to wrap up shortly. It brings us really to next year. I'd like you all to mark a date in your calendar.